Hey everyone, it's Megan. Welcome to my Booktubeathon 2015 wrap-up / remainder of August to be read pile video. Yeah, that was a mouthful. So suffice it to say, I failed at the Booktubeathon this year. I remember last year I was way better. I completed all the challenges and everything. But this time around, I actually had a lot going on. I went on vacation, which included a family reunion right at the beginning of Booktubeathon, and following the end of that vacation, I actually wound up proposing to my boyfriend Matt of over 5 years, and that was great. So that is why I have been absent for the past month or so, like just doing my wrap-ups and TBRs like super late for the past month, because it took a lot of planning to execute that, and it was really great. It all worked out. I'm happy, but anyway. So it's going to take me a little bit to get back into the swing of things. But as a couple of updates, I just got a Twitter the other day for the first time in my life, and that was interesting. I'm going to get Instagram very soon, and so I'll be able to start following people that way, and I'm really excited about that. But anyway, I have a rather large to be read pile for the remainder of the month, as you have seen in the thumbnail. But I realistically think that I can do this. We're only a third of the way through the month right now as I'm filming, so I like to think that I can get these done, plus several of them I am already currently reading. But first, let us talk about the Booktubeathon. So I actually only completed 3 books. The first one was Breakfast at Tiffany's by Truman Capote. This was the one that I chose to try to even out and read 7 books altogether, and so yeah, this is a novella about Holly Golightly. I'm sure you've seen the movie, or if you haven't, you should go see the movie now because it is one of Audrey Hepburn's best. I read this years ago and as a teenager, and I don't think that I fully appreciated it, and I appreciate it a lot more now as an adult. And the biggest surprise that I found was that the ending for this is the ending that I would pick over the movie ending. The movie ending, now that I think about it, it's like you see the movie ending and it's nice, it's wonderful, but I tried to picture them beyond that. I tried to picture Holly's character beyond that moment in the rain at the end of the movie, and oh, spoiler. Anyway, I couldn't do it, and the book ending seemed to be a lot more appropriate and a lot more fitting to the rest of the story. The other 2 books I will not be giving this much detail about because I just realized I'll be talking about them in my August wrap-up. But anyway, moving on. Next, I completed The Wicked and the Divine, Volume 1 by 3 authors whose names I cannot recall at this moment. Yeah, this was to complete the challenge of keeping a hold of a book and not letting it go the whole time that you're reading it, and I succeeded. It's, a comic. I don't know if there's like 4 or 5 volumes within the comic, so it's a bind-up, and so it really did not take long to read at all. I also completed This One Summer by Mariko and Jillian Tamaki. They are 2 cousins. This was a reread for me. It's a graphic novel that I read last summer, and I want to reread it every summer, and this was also like Breakfast at Tiffany's as a way of rounding it out and reading 7 books. And it didn't even really matter because I failed. So those are the 3 things that I managed to read during Booktubeathon. In terms of the other books that I read, I started Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. I am only around 20 pages into this so far, but I'm really enjoying it so far from just the little bit that I've read, and I will talk about it more in my August wrap-up. But by far the most reading that I did during that time was I got 220 pages into The Invasion of the Tierling by Erica Johansson. This has sucked me in, and I'm in love with this, nearing the halfway point of it, and I definitely expect to be finished with it before the end of the month. So to continue on with the currently reading front, I have Everyday Sexism by Laura Bates. I am, nearing the end there, over the halfway point, 254 pages in, and as you can see, I've been making a lot of notes. Because I have a lot to say about this. So this is a nonfiction book on, like it says, everyday sexism, and I will be talking about it more in my wrap-up. I am also around 38 pages in Scarlet by Marissa Meyer. This is the 2nd book in the Lunar Chronicles, and Scarlet, Red Riding Hood, that is what this one is about this time. Not too far in, but I'm liking it so far, digging it. I guess people don't like this much nearly as Cinder, the first one, and I loved Cinder, but we'll see how it goes. I am also around 70 pages into Tough Without a Gun, The Life and Extraordinary Afterlife of Humphrey Bogart by Stephen Canfer. So this is, as the title implies, it is like an autobiography of Humphrey Bogart, who is probably my most favorite male actor of all time. Yeah, this is really great because it not only talks about his life, but it also talks about the backstory production of the films that he did, and I'm a huge fan of a lot of his films, which are classics, so I'm really enjoying this so far. Now into the books that I am planning to read for the rest of the month that I haven't begun. The first of which is Rook by Sharon Cameron. Shasha from A Book Utopia and Reagan from Peruse Project are actually doing a book club read-along group, and this is their pick for the month of August. I don't quite remember what it's about, but I just remember when I heard the summary, I was like, oh yes. And so it's like a dystopian Paris. There's like an underground conspiracy. I don't know, but it just sounds really, really good, and it's quite chunky, but I think I can get through it. I am also intending to read Second Chance Summer by Morgan Matson. I have been waiting and waiting to read this book ever since I got it around Christmas time, I think, from Book Outlet, and this is Morgan Matson's second book, I think, after Amy and Roger's Epic Detour, and it's the only one by her that I haven't read, and it's about a girl whose father has recently been diagnosed, I think it's terminal cancer, and so they go to their usual summer cottage, and she reconnects with a boy that she's known since she was a kid because they've been going to the same summer cottage kind of area since they were kids. Anyway, sounds good. Sounds like a typical Morgan Matson fluffy summer read, and yeah, great way to end the summer. I am also going to finally start Death Note, Volume 1. Yeah, I'm kind of intrigued. I don't know if I'm going to like this. I like the concept, but I don't know. I'm not really into this kind of thing, but so many people love it. Matt is crazy about it, and it's like among the bigger manga series that I haven't read, so I think I'll give it a try, and we'll see if I want to continue with the series. And I do still intend to complete Bambi's Children by Felix Sultan. This was on my Booktubeathon TBR to fulfill the challenge of a book whose author has the same last name, first initial as you, so Sultan. Yeah. This is a sequel to Bambi, and yeah, I've had it on my shelf for quite a while, and I was waiting for the following Booktubeathon to read it, and I'll just settle for reading it in August. I also plan on picking up Finding Audrey by Sophie Kinsella. This is the Booksplosion book of the month for August. I will link that group down below, actually, that Goodreads group, because it's awesome. It's comprised of Jessie from Jessie the Reader, and Kat from Catty-tastic, and Christine from Poland and Bananas Books. So it's Booksplosion. They do it every month. They do a different book, and a lot of the times they're books that I want to read, so I'm going to follow along with this one and actually listen to their live show and stuff, and it should be fun. Quickly, I'll tell you, this is Sophie Kinsella's newest book that just came out fairly recently, like a couple months ago, and it's about a girl who's been through some sort of traumatic experience, and as a result, she develops a type of anxiety that leads her to have to wear sunglasses all the time. So I don't know too much about it, and that's good, because that's how I like my books. I also do plan to read, or at least start, Harper Lee's Go Set a Watchman. This was also for Booktubeathon as having a blue on the cover, fulfilling that challenge, and I didn't get to, and it sucks. You've doubtless heard about this book and everything that surrounding it, and the fact that it's, sequel to Kill a Mockingbird, but a prequel in the sense that it was written before To Kill a Mockingbird. Kind of confusing. But anyway, I loved To Kill a Mockingbird as a teenager, and I hope I enjoy this at least as much. And finally, I am going to get through Making Mischief, a Maurice Sendak appreciation by Gregory Maguire. This is not too long. It's only around 150 pages, and a lot of them are pictures of his artwork, so I think I could get through this fairly quickly. I love Maurice Sendak. If you can't tell, he was the illustrator, the creative mind behind, oh my gosh, Where the Wild Things Are. He did the illustrations for Little Bear. I don't know if you remember that. Chicken Soup with Rice, just The Night Kitchen, so many. He is just such a fantastic illustrator, and I've developed such a interest in illustration ever since I took a course on it at NASCAD. And yeah, so I want to learn more about it. Some of my favorite children's illustrators. I would love to read books about them, starting with this one, because it's kind of appropriate. It was one of the very first books that my dad read to me when I was just a little toddler, so This is exciting. So there you have it. Those are the 12 books that I intend to complete throughout the remainder of the month. Please comment down below and let me know if you have read any of these books or if you're intending to read any of these books by chance at the same time as me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you have a great week. I shall see you soon with another video. Take care, everyone. Bye.